Level 1. The applicant. You submit your application through the FBI Jobs portal. Bachelor's degree required, 3 years work experience, clean background. You wait 4 months for a response. They want to meet you. You drive to a local field office. Metal detectors, armed guards, security cameras everywhere. An agent asks you why you want this job. You give the prepared answer about serving justice and protecting Americans. He asks harder questions. Why did you get fired from that job in 2019? What happened the night you got arrested for public intoxication in college? They already know everything. They've talked to your ex-girlfriend, your college roommate, your high school teachers. They've pulled your credit report, your driving record, your social media history. The polygraph comes next. 3 hours in a windowless room, sensors on your chest, your fingertips. The examiner asks about your drug use, your finances, your sexual history, things you've never told anyone. The machine measures your body's betrayal, your racing heart, your sweating palms. 6 weeks later, you get the letter. You've been selected for new agent training. Report to Quantico, Virginia. Your life just changed forever. Level 2. The Trainee. The FBI Academy at Quantico sits on 547 acres of Virginia forest. For the next 20 weeks, this compound is your entire world. You wake at 5:30 a.m. in a dorm room that looks like a cheap hotel. You run the yellow brick road, 6.1 miles through the woods. You sit through lectures on federal law, constitutional protections, rules of evidence, how to build a case that survives court. You learn the bureaucracy. Form FD 302 for interview reports. Form FD 1057 for personnel actions. Everything requires forms. Everything requires documentation. You spend weeks at the firing range. You start with a Glock 19. Your hands shake the first time you fire it. The instructor yells until they stop shaking. You fire thousands of rounds. Stress shoots, low-light shoots, shooting while moving. By week 10, you don't think. You just draw and fire. You practice tactical scenarios in Hogan's Alley, a fake town built for training. Storefronts, houses, a bank. Instructors play criminals. Other trainees play civilians. You respond to a bank robbery. You execute a search warrant. Everything is recorded. Everything is evaluated. Did you announce yourself properly? Did you secure the weapon? One mistake and you run the scenario again. The stress is designed to break you. 20% don't make it. You graduate on a Friday in December. Your family attends. You get your badge and your credentials. You raise your right hand and swear to support and defend the Constitution. You are now a special agent of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Level 3. The Special Agent. Your first assignment is a small field office in the Midwest. You're the rookie, the new guy, the FNG. The office handles everything: bank robberies, drug trafficking, public corruption, whatever crosses state lines. You're paired with a training agent. For the next 2 years, you're supervised. You don't make decisions alone. You take notes, you write reports, you do the paperwork. Your first case is a bank robbery. Small town, community bank, $8,000 taken. The robber wore a ski mask and showed a gun. Your partner reviews security footage. You call surrounding banks. You spend 3 days on this. It's tedious. It's boring. It's not what you imagined. 2 weeks later, you catch a break. The suspect used a stolen car. You find prints. They match a local meth addict. You execute the arrest warrant. The suspect is sleeping in his girlfriend's trailer. He doesn't resist. You cuff him, you read him his rights, you transport him. This is your first arrest. It feels like nothing. Your partner says this is the job. 90% waiting, 10% action. Most of it unglamorous, most of it paperwork. You write the arrest report, you testify at the arraignment. The suspect pleads guilty. You never go to trial. Most cases never go to trial. You close the file, you move to the next case. Level 4. The Senior Special Agent. After 5 years, you're off probation. You're experienced now. You work cases independently. You mentor new agents. You're assigned to a violent crime squad. Gang activity, armed robberies, kidnappings, murders that cross state lines. You're investigating an armed robbery crew hitting banks across 3 states. They've taken $400,000 in 6 months. They're professional, they're organized, they're careful. You build the case from scratch. You review footage from every robbery. You identify patterns. Same getaway vehicles, same entry techniques, same division of roles. You work with state and local police. You share information. Not everyone wants to cooperate. Some local cops resent federal agents swooping in. You learn to navigate egos. You learn to share credit. You identify a suspect through a partial license plate. You run surveillance. You photograph him. You map his entire life. You present your case to an assistant U.S. attorney. She authorizes a wiretap. You listen to phone calls. You hear them planning the next job. You set up on the bank, 6 agents, 3 vehicles, watching, waiting. They arrive. They enter. You wait until they're inside. Then you move. You block their escape route. You draw your weapon. You order them to the ground. They comply. No shots fired. You arrest all 4. You recover $200,000 in cash. You seize 3 vehicles and 4 handguns. You testify at trial. The jury convicts. You're proud of this one. This one mattered. Level 5. The Supervisory Special Agent. You've been an agent for 12 years. You're promoted to supervisor. You run a squad now. 10 agents report to you. Your job changes. You're not chasing cases anymore. You're managing people. You approve operations. You review reports. You deal with personnel issues. Agent Smith drinks too much. Agent Johnson is going through a divorce. Agent Williams wants a transfer because she's burned out. You handle it all. You attend endless meetings, budget meetings, policy meetings, coordination meetings with other agencies. You brief the special agent in charge. You brief headquarters. You write memos justifying your squad's priorities. You're exhausted. You miss working cases. You miss the action. But this is the path. This is how you climb. Your squad catches a terrorism case, a cell planning an attack on a federal building. You coordinate the investigation. You work with the Joint Terrorism Task Force. You bring in Homeland Security, ATF. You brief the U.S. Attorney's Office. You prepare operational plans. You manage the takedown. You handle the press afterward. Your face is on the news. The headline is FBI Thwarts Terror Plot. You don't tell them it was your team who did the work. You don't tell them you weren't even there for the arrest. That's leadership. Taking responsibility, giving credit, moving pieces, not being the piece. Level 6. The Assistant Special Agent in Charge. You're transferred to a major field office, New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, one of the big ones. You're second in command now, the ASAC. You oversee multiple squads, counterterrorism, counterintelligence, cybercrimes. Hundreds of cases running simultaneously. You manage 200 agents and support staff. You deal with crises. An agent discharges his weapon. You handle the shooting review board. An operation goes wrong and a suspect escapes. You explain to headquarters. A whistleblower alleges misconduct in your office. You investigate your own people. You work with the inspector general. The politics are brutal. You answer to headquarters. You answer to the U.S. attorney. You answer to local law enforcement. Everyone wants something. Everyone has an agenda. You balance it all. You attend community meetings. You shake hands with mayors and police chiefs. You give speeches about FBI cooperation. You smile for photos. You hate every second of it. But it's the job. You sleep 4 hours a night. Your second marriage is failing. Your kids barely know you. You've missed birthdays, holidays, school plays. You tell yourself it's worth it. You tell yourself you're making a difference. Some days you believe it. Level 7. The Special Agent in Charge. You run an entire field office now, the SAC. This is the pinnacle for most agents. You oversee operations across an entire region. You command 400 people. You manage relationships with senators and congressmen. You testify before committees. You defend your budget. You make decisions that affect national security. A terrorist plot, a Russian spy ring, a Chinese intelligence operation. You approve operations. You kill operations. You decide what matters, what doesn't. Every decision has consequences. You approve a raid. It goes wrong. An agent is shot. You attend the funeral. You give the eulogy. You tell his widow he died serving his country. You don't tell her you approved the operation. You don't tell her you could have done it differently. You carry that weight. Level 8, the Executive Assistant Director. You're at headquarters now, FBI headquarters in Washington, D.C. You've left the field behind. You oversee an entire branch of the FBI, maybe the Criminal Investigative Division, maybe the National Security Branch. Thousands of agents report up through your chain of command. You manage budgets in the hundreds of millions. You brief Congress. You brief the Attorney General. You sit in classified briefings with the National Security Council. You make policy decisions that affect every field office. You decide investigatory priorities. You allocate resources. You're in meetings from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., strategy sessions, budget reviews, crisis management. When something goes wrong, you're on the phone with the director. When something goes right, the director gets the credit. You're invisible to the public, but you're one of the most powerful people in law enforcement. You haven't made an arrest in 15 years. You haven't drawn your weapon in 20. But you decide which cases get resources, which investigations move forward. You shape the entire direction of the Bureau. Level 9, the Deputy Director. You're number 2 in the FBI now. Only the director himself outranks you. You run the day-to-day operations of the entire Bureau, 35,000 employees, offices in every state, legal attachés in 80 countries. You brief the president. You sit in the Situation Room during national security crises. You testify before Congress regularly. Senators ask you about investigations, about terrorism threats, about cyber attacks. You give answers that are carefully constructed, truthful but incomplete, informative but protective of ongoing operations. Everyone in the room knows the game. You manage relationships with the CIA, NSA, Homeland Security. The interagency politics are exhausting. Everyone protects their turf. Everyone wants credit. Everyone hides their failures. You navigate it all. You approve the most sensitive operations that could become international incidents if they go wrong. You make decisions knowing that history might judge you, that one day these operations might be declassified. You sleep 3 hours a night. You're 62 years old. You've given 40 years to the Bureau. Your body is breaking down. Your mind is sharp, but your back hurts, your knees hurt, your blood pressure is too high. Your third marriage survived, barely. Your kids are grown. They respect what you do, even if they don't understand it. You're thinking about retirement. But there's always one more crisis, one more threat, one more reason to stay. Level 10, the Ghost. You retire after 40 years. 40 years of service to the Bureau. There's a ceremony at headquarters. The director gives a speech. Your colleagues attend. Some are crying. You receive the FBI Medal for Meritorious Achievement. It will sit in a box in your closet. You can't explain what you did to earn it. You move to a house in Virginia, far from the city. You don't have many friends. The people you worked with are scattered or dead. The people you knew before the Bureau are strangers now. You can't explain where you've been for 40 years. You can't explain the scars, the decisions, the operations that went wrong. Your pension is generous. Your health care is excellent. The government takes care of its own, at least financially. But you're alone with your memories, the cases you worked, the criminals you caught, the agents who died. You try to be normal. You fish, you golf, you walk the perimeter of your property at 3 a.m. looking for threats that aren't there. You can't turn it off. You'll never turn it off. And somewhere, a college graduate is filling out an application. They're dreaming of serving justice. They're dreaming of catching bad guys. They have no idea what they're signing up for.
They don't know about the loneliness, the moral compromises, the things they'll see that they can never unsee. They always do.